Hello everyone, Tom with Capo Fetish. Today on the channel, I am going to talk about 6 classic albums where the backing track overshadows the vocals. And what I mean by that is that you're not really listening to the vocals. The backing track, the instrumentation, the guitars, what have you, is so strong that that's what your mind is focused on. It's not even really the vocal line, the vocal melody, it's the backing track. So I've got 6 that I'm going to feature. This one is from 1977. I've featured it various times over the past few years on this channel. And the lead singer's voice is a little, it's not to everybody's taste. Probably why this particular album did not chart high, but it's also a very influential album. But I think what carries this album for me is definitely the guitarists, Richard Lloyd and Tom Verlaine's guitars, and just the instrumentation. The arrangements of this album are incredible, and for me, they overshadow the vocals. So I'm talking about Television's Marquee Moon, their debut album from '77. If you turn the vocals off and you hear what is actually going on in this album, it is mind-blowing. First of all, you got, these two really creative guitar forces going on here with Richard Lloyd and Tom Verlaine, right? A track like Marquee Moon is an absolute it's like a jam fest, but it's not like your typical jam fest, right? It's not like your typical, Creedence jam fest or, Allman Brothers jam fest. There's a lot of melodic stuff going on with the guitars, a lot of interweaving between the guitars. I mean, this is just happening throughout the entire album. Songs like Friction and Venus, guitars are just kind of overlaying over one another and answering one another. Tom Verlaine's voice, it's more of a speak-sing kind of voice, kind of like Hendrix, where he's just kind of speaking over the tracks. So the vocal's not really carrying the melody. It's really the actual instrumentation that's carrying the melody and the songs to full effect. And, of course, I listen to the vocals, but sometimes I turn down the vocals because I just love what the guitars are doing, especially like on Torn Curtain, the last track. There's so many cool guitar lines going on, and Prove It and Guiding Light. Though Guiding Light kind of needs a vocal, but I'd say the majority of these tracks you could seriously listen to without the vocals because the guitars are so strong and they're melodic and they're doing something different that a lot of guitarists weren't doing up until this point. Like jam sessions that are actually melodic and not meandering. So this one I'm putting on the list here. Television, Marquee Moon, a fine album where you can listen to without the vocals if you want to. It's very subjective, very subjective. Another one here too, that every time I listen to it, I think, I don't even really need to hear the vocals on this album because the riffs are so strong. I'm talking about Black Sabbath's Master of Reality album. Take, for instance, a song like After Forever, right? It's got like 3 different riffs going on in it. And it's almost like, nothing against Ozzy's vocals. I mean, he brings his vibe to these tracks. But there's just something about Butler and Ward, Geezer Butler and Bill Ward's rhythm section, the way it swings and grooves, along with Tony Iommi's guitar. And all over this album, most of these tracks are all just kind of groove, riff-oriented songs that don't really need a lot of vocals. Of course, the vocals add a lot, but sometimes I just want to hear some groove. I want to hear some riffs. And a track like Into the Void is just full-on riff fest. And the groove, songs like Lord of This World, same thing, just grooving all the way through with these multiple riffs going on throughout the album. So I was listening to this about a week ago after Ozzy passed and just marveling at the riffs on this album. Just the creative riffs, the swing of Butler and Ward on drums and bass. And seriously, I'd say most of these tracks here, you can literally listen without vocals and they still have an incredible potency to them. So Black Sabbath, Master of Reality, another example of an album that I think the backing tracks overshadow the vocals. Moving on to 1984, The Smiths. Incredible songwriting team of Johnny Marr and Morrissey. Morrissey, during his tenure with the Smiths, had some of the most amazing lyrics and vocal lines and such. But I think for me, as a fan of the Smiths back in the day, for me, what really turned me on the Smiths was Johnny Marr's guitar parts. And this is a good example, this first Smiths album, of the real creative, arpeggio, chimey guitar parts that Johnny Marr came up with. You can listen to a track like Reel Around the Fountain. There's a version on Hatful of Hollow that's even more suited to just non-vocals. It's just the guitar's more up front. My problem with this production on this album is that the guitar is kind of buried into the mix. So you hear almost too much Morrissey. And though I do like Morrissey's voice to an extent, I really enjoy the guitar playing, especially on a track like Suffer Little Children, the last track on the album. It's almost like a guitar showcase. The vocals very, very melancholic. It's very morose sounding, but the guitar is doing something different and almost has this kind of like chimey jazz guitar feel. And on the outro, you can really hear it. The outro goes on for about maybe a minute, 2 minutes with Johnny Marr's guitar lines interweaving in and out of the track. Fantastic. So many other tracks on here too, like Pretty Girls Make Graves. There's a really great galloping kind of rhythm going on, and then he has this kind of cascading chimey thing on the outro of Pretty Girls Make Graves. Pretty Girls Make Graves that is just amazing. A song like The Hand That Rocks the Cradle is very repetitive, but it's very hypnotic, the guitar part. So, I mean, a lot of these tracks, for me, just stand out just with the guitar alone, what the guitar is doing. Guitar is pretty much carrying a lot of the melody. Songs like Hand in Glove have this just really cool intro guitar part, this kind of chimey guitar part. I Don't Owe You Anything too has this kind of really kind of real clean sounding guitar. So I don't know. I think this whole album could almost be listened to without vocals if you wanted to. Try it sometime. It's fantastic. I think Johnny Marr's guitar parts are absolutely fantastic and stellar. There's a lot of overdubbing of guitars. There's, layers of guitars going on tracks like This Charming Man, Suffer Little Children, Miserable Lie. My only problem is that the guitar is buried way too deep, but there's some really intricate kind of arpeggio things going on this album that are fantastic. So another example, a while back, I bought this double disc CD version of Houses of the Holy by Zeppelin. One is a remastered or remixed version. The second disc is completely all instrumental. It's an all instrumental version of Houses of the Holy, and it is really, really stellar. The instrumental versions without the vocals of the Rain Song are incredible. Over the Hills and Far Away. The instrumental version of No Quarter is really amazing. So, I mean, it really showcases the musical prowess of Led Zeppelin. This album here, I think, is one of their most musical albums. Less of the cock rock, more of the arranging, like on the Rain Song, and folk rock on Over the Hills and Far Away. And I just think just the layers of guitar and the orchestration on the Rain Song just really adds to a fine listening experience, even without the vocals. Nothing against Plant's vocals. They add a lot to the album, but it's just an alternate way of listening to this album. And I'm putting this one in here, the instrumental version of Houses of the Holy from Led Zeppelin that was released about maybe 10 years ago. Another one is David Bowie's Low. Now, half of this album is instrumental. The second side is more of a soundscape side, incredible side. The first side starts with starts with Speed of Life, which is an actual instrumental track. There's no vocals. And the last track on side one, A New Career in a New Town, is an instrumental track. But the other 5 tracks could easily be just no vocals too, because the backing tracks are so amazing. The drum sound, the rhythms, just really an amazing like instrumental backing track going on all over side one. And then of course side 2 is all just instrumental soundscapes. But I think I could listen to this entire thing without any vocals at all. It's so strong. David Bowie's Low from 1977. Again, most of it, half of it is instrumental, but the other half, I don't even think I would even need to have the vocals on. So it's kind of an alternate way of listening to Low. Listen to the whole thing without vocals on side 1 and then go to the soundscape on side 2 and check that out as well. Really cool. And then last but not least, I've never really been a huge Rush fan. I think what I liked about Rush the most was Alex Lifeson's guitar playing. Love that guitar sound, especially on this album, Moving Pictures, where he's employing more of like a flange effect. And I think a lot of the songs on here too stand out alone just without Geddy Lee's vocals. Tracks like Red Barchetta is just fantastic. Those guitar lines. And songs like, and there is YYZ, which is an instrumental, but tracks like Limelight, Tom Sawyer, The Camera Eye, Vital Signs, Red Barchetta are, I think, just guitar, bass, drums alone sound really, really amazing. So throwing Rush's Moving Pictures into the mix of just fantastic backing tracks where a vocal may not even be necessary, or it's just an alternate listening experience. So So those are just some examples. Do you have any more examples to throw into the comment section of classic albums where the backing track overshadows the vocals, where you're actually listening to the backing track more than the vocals because the backing track is so strong, whether it be the guitar parts, the bass, the rhythm, the drums, wherever it may be? Let me know in the comment section. As always, thanks for watching. If you dig the content across the channel, press subscribe. I'd appreciate it. It's for free. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.